Hello and welcome back to the channel. Before I hand this video off to pass me, I just want to say I need more time on the PS3 disk drive video. You'll see why when that video drops, but I did want to make sure I had something for you all. Now I went into my archives and found this lost episode I never released. I think the reason was I did a couple DualShock 3 videos and figured this was too many, and I just forgot about it. So the audio won't be up to the new standards and the video may be more akin to my older content. But either way, I hope you enjoy this lost episode. Hello and welcome back to a new video. So today what we have here is another DualShock 3. I know we've been done quite a few videos of these, but that just seems to be how my luck's rolling these days. So the model number on this one is CECHZC2U A1. Now, this is a friend of mine's. He asked me if I could repair this for him. Basically a little bit possessed, and I will show you what's going on with it over on my TV, just because I don't have a test PS3 yet. That'll be the focus of today, is how I'm going to be going about fixing that. And we'll also be doing a full clean on this controller as well, because just age and all that stuff. And then we're going to top it off with a new battery. Now, I'll have the link in the description below, but this is a Pickle Power. And just the one that I like to use. I've used other ones on my personal controllers, and I've never had issues with them, but I like the Pickle Powers, so we're going to be putting that one in. So, without further ado, let's head over to my TV, and I'll show you what the issue is with this thing. Alright, so we're playing Modern Warfare 3 here. This is his other controller. Just checking to make sure that it works. I didn't record it because it really just needed a clean and thumbsticks. So we're going to pause the game. We're going to stop the game here. We're going to shut off this controller. Now we're going to connect. Where'd the cable go? There it is. We're going to connect the one that was on the bench. Turn it on. So, we'll set it up again. So as you can see, I'm only moving the thumbstick forward. But now it's doing random button presses, so it's basically like super possessed. So, let's head back to the bench. Stop this insanity. So we'll head back to the bench, get this apart, and then we'll go from there. Alright, so first things first is getting this completely disassembled. Get the egg carton handy. Yeah, so because I'm doing a full restoration on this, this is getting completely stripped down to its individual components. I'm also not sure if there's any issues in terms of like stick drift or anything like that. It's kind of hard to test it when it was doing what it was. But that's actually a really common thing, especially in my experience with the A1 models. So it's not really a big deal once we get it open. We ain't gonna need this battery anymore. Really need to get better tweezers. Alright, and we got the one screw here. That did not want to come out. Alright, now we gotta remove the chassis. Well, might as well take this button off. Set that aside. Press these white clips in for the motor. And on the other side. And the whole assembly comes out. Then I'm going to remove the buttons my way. Yeah, it shell's a little dirty inside, definitely from regular use. Dust and everything. Nothing too weird. Now the board doesn't appear to have any evidence besides a little stickiness to get this off. Bit of dust, nothing too weird. It does not look like it has any evidence of any kind of spills or anything. I don't see anything. So what's causing this, these button skips? Well, I'll bring you in a moment, and I'll show you. Alright, so basically how the controller works is you've got this flex cable. Sorry if it's kind of zoomed in kind of like stupidly, but you have the flex cable. That's what, or the flex board. I think that's what it's called. It's the flex board. So that's what registers all the button presses, and then it comes to this contact point here, which rests onto the board here. But it uses kind of like pressure to hold this piece to this part of the board. Now underneath here, if we can get it off, is on there a little tight. Now underneath here, we have a pad. It's basically a foam pad. And then on the back of the controller, here, there's another foam pad that presses the motherboard into the rest. It kind of holds everything in place and presses a little bit of pressure in on the board, which helps to press down on this. So basically what happens is over the years, this kind of flattens out a little bit. So then it's not seating properly to this part of the board. So that's kind of the best way I can explain like why it's doing the random button presses, because it's not getting a good contact. So when I usually encounter this, I do a two-prong approach. One, cleaning out everything in the controller, cleaning up the board, and then generally how I fix it too is to put a couple pieces of electrical tape over this pad. And generally, usually with just this pad, I've had it work. We might have to address something onto this pad. We may have to put a small piece of tape here as well to give a little more even pressure onto the board, onto the motherboard here. But we'll just kind of see what happens, and then we'll go from there. So, all right, the next step's going to basically be I'm going to clean up all the plastic pieces in the shell and everything. I'm not going to bring you along on that. I've done it so many times on videos. So we'll just skip through that and meet back up here tomorrow. And we are back. We have a pile of parts here, but we're going to deal with this later. So we're just going to throw this off to the side, because before we move on for reassembly, we have to clean this up. So I'm just going to take a little bit of isopropyl alcohol and handy dandy toothbrush, and we're just going to kind of clean this up. So we'll just kind of breeze right through this. Yeah, so I'm just going to put the controller back together now, just for the sake of the video. I really do not think that just cleaning this is going to get these buttons to stop randomly pressing. So this is kind of, in a way, for educational purposes. And now a new battery. Now this obviously is different than the one that came out of it, because some of the newer model controllers have these little nubby things on the end of them, and they kind of correspond to the holes. Well, not kind of correspond to the holes, they do correspond to the holes. One thing that I've noticed is you are able to get it to kind of sit nice and tight in the shell. So that's kind of what I've been doing lately. But first, we're going to attach it. Oh, there it goes. Can't really see it on camera. It's just a little weird getting in there. Okay, let's test it out over at the TV. Alright, and we're here with the controller. Let's see what happens. Huh, seems to be working. All the buttons seem to be working. Not getting any random skips. Alright, so everything seems to be working as it should, which is actually a little surprising. So we'll get back to the bench and wrap this video up. I'm actually really surprised that worked. Generally speaking, in my experience, just a clean doesn't always fix the button skips, and sometimes they do come back. So I'm going to show another method on how to fix the button skips after you've cleaned it and it still does it. Now this is a friend of mine, so I'm going to do a little preventative, and I am going to do what I usually do to help along the button skips, and I'll show you how to do that. Alright, so the first foam pad we're going to address is right here. This one is one of them that kind of gets pressed down a little bit over time. I don't think that this one's as important as the next one, but I do think that it presses down a little bit on the battery and then on the motherboard. So we're just going to take a little piece of electrical tape, snip it with a little bit of scissors and just place it on top. Should help it along a little bit. And then this is the foam pad. We peel back the ribbing flex cable again. So this foam pad we're going to take out. Just pops right out. This one I think is the one that usually fails. Like it's matted down over time, so then they can't make the connection to this. And then onto the connections on the motherboard. I imagine you can, if you had like a piece of foam, you can just cut a new one and replace it, but we don't have that right now. So I'm going to put a piece of electrical tape on the back. Since it is working, I think that's really all it needs. So let me get something to cut something this size, and then we'll be right back. Alright, so I got a piece of electrical tape on the top of a Pabst Blue Ribbon flap. So I'm going to take the side that has the ridges, place it down. Meant to get that straight, but whatever, close enough. Not the best cut job, but it'll do. I'll just put it back in. And then just for good measure, just because I think I touched it with my fingers, just clean that off. Alright, so now that's done, I'm just going to reassemble the controller. I'll test it off camera and I'll be right back with you. So I tested the controller off camera. Everything is working exactly as it should, so don't need to go back into here. So I think with that being said, we'll call the video here. So thank you so much for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and all that good jazz. And if you have any comments or questions or anything like that, leave them down in the comment section below. And again, thank you for watching. And remember, fix it, don't ditch it. Have a good one.